All right. Can you hear me well? So this presentation is about 5-MeO MALT. It's the feminine God molecule. This is arguably the most holistic and most stable psychedelic that we know as a humanity. It is even better than 5-MeO-DMT. Yeah, 5-MeO-DMT can be just too rough, in a way masculine, and it's kind of forcing you to show what is infinite love is. Like it is like grabbing your head and steering you off to show this is love. 5-MeO might rather puts you in a sensual, loving love gel best of. It puts you in the best of. It kind of hugs you, cuddles you to show what infinite love is. So, yes, overview. Yes, 5-MeO Malt is gentle and much more stable and nurturing and lower body load than 5-MeO DMT, so it's more manageable. And it's got some little bit more visuals than 5-MeO DMT, but it's got some mild visuals with some pinkish neon magenta tint. It takes like 2 or 3 hours if you put in your ass rectally plugging. If you smoke it, it will be like 30 to 1 hour. I think 30 no 30 minutes to 1 hour. Yes. While 5-MeO DMT, if you put in your ass, it will just last like 1 hour some or 1 hour half. Or if you smoke 5-MeO DMT, it will just last like 20 minutes. So the effect of it, in addition to 5-MeO DMT, which dissolves your ego, which makes you surrender, which makes you experience the ego death in a way. The good thing with the 5-MeO malt is it's a very deep, sensual, feminine, non-dual love experience that is deserving your ego. So yes, detailed comparison between 5-MeO malt and 5-MeO DMT. So how it deserves the ego is quite different. 5-MeO DMT is like a rocket, or it's like a nuclear explosion, or it's like a spear that is poking the ego. 5-MeO DMT causes very rapid, intense ego dissolution. For some, this can be quite shocking and overwhelming experience. So, which I do not recommend it actually. Which I rather recommend the 5-MeO Mart if you are just beginning. Uh, yeah. 5-MeO Mart, with its smoother nature, it can help people those who struggle with 5-MeO DMT's intense dissolution process, and this provides a more gradual, gentle path to the ego dissolution than 5-MeO DMT. Intensity of the experience. For some people, 5-MeO DMT can feel either ineffective, so it does not actually work at all in the lower doses because they have a really strong ego that is controlling the experience, or it is too overwhelming at the higher doses. It causes them fear, anxiety, paranoia, although it can be potentially blissful. 5-MeO Mart offers a smoother entry, making it an ideal starting point for those who feel little at lower doses of 5-MeO DMT. Yes. So, um, yeah. The masculine and feminine balance. 5-MeO-DMT is often described as masculine. It is sharp, intense, and piercing through ego with the power. So it's the blasting off. In contrast, 5-MeO-MALT is described as more feminine. It is like an acidic love gel, dissolving the ego with a gentle, nurturing, motherly embrace. So one thing to mention is that there are some people who are grown up in a very masculine environment. So they actually do not have not experienced feminine form of love that much, so that they miss it a lot. And 5-MeO DMT can feel like way too masculine in the way that they have difficulty with embracing it. So for those people, 5-MeO might works much better. Um, yeah. Your body and senses on the MALT, 5-MeO MALT. So unlike other psychedelics or unlike other psychoactive substances, it has anti-tolerance and anti-addiction. That's wild. So 5-MeO MALT is that. So the more you use it, you become more sensitive and more expanded your mind becomes. As the ego deserves, meaning your ego is something that makes you attached, clinging, and addicted, you become less reliant, you become more sensitive, you become more easier to embrace whatever there is. So yeah. As well, there are not so much visuals on the 5-MeO Mart. Um, it it provides a subtle little visuals, but there are no strong visual experience like NNDMT, not even magic mushroom or LSD. And in the low doses to medium, even high dose, you most of the times you remain in control over your body. Although it gets more difficult to coordinate and control your body, so that's why you have to do it in a safe environment. So like the clean room, for example. Yeah. Mhm. And yeah, it's somewhat more comfortable. So 5-MeO DMT can be just way too intense, way too short, a little bit shorter, and it can cause more nausea. And yeah, so 5-MeO Mart is much better. It's longer. It's much more beautiful, and it has a lower body load, which allows for greater focus on the contemplation rather than getting lost in a physical discomfort. Yeah. Your consciousness on 5-MeO Mart, holistic and stable. 5-MeO Mart is stabler. I think most stable psychedelic that I know, and it's longer. It gives more time for contemplation and deep thoughts. And unlike other psychedelics like DMT or magic mushroom or LSD, they can induce some loopy and fragmented or weird thoughts like on magic mushroom on a medium or high dose trip. I thought that I am the Jesus. Yeah, I thought that I'm the Jesus and I have to save the people. But I just realized that, oh, That's the story that I'm creating. So not so much thoughts like that happen on the 5-MeO Mart. Magic mushroom high dose can be funny, but it also gives you very. It makes your surface quite dark aspect of your psyche, of your mind. With the 5-MeO Mart as well as 5-MeO DMT, what it does is that regardless it is that happy, smiley, or laughing mind or this negative or dark mind, it just dissolves that mind. It dissolves all these dualities, and you get to face the emptiness or this ground or groundlessness or this flat nothingness, and you rather feel blissful, um, that you are liberated from all this ego mind. So yeah, 5-MeO Mart and 5-MeO DMT, it your head and mind stays quite clear. So not those weird thoughts like repeating on yourself like, oh, I'm the Jesus, I have to save the world, I'm Jesus, I have to save the people. You don't get to you don't get to think like that. Yeah. So yeah, this is quite ideal, even more than 5-MeO DMT, better suited for the long contemplation. Levels of oneness and love. High doses of 5-MeO might it can induce you the profound feelings of oneness and love and blissful ecstasy. Sometimes it can be really overwhelming, but it is actually most of the times much more manageable than 5-MeO DMT, as well deeply euphoric. Yeah. Like my first trip on psychedelic was actually 5-MeO Mart. So I did not start with magic mushroom or these conventional psychedelics. I started it with 5-MeO Mart. It was around 3 milligram, and I was I had quite such a traumatizing life, and that first experience, that little I was crying a little bit, maybe because it was the nasal pain, because I took in the nose. But I was also crying out of bliss, out of this so much love. Yeah, I remember that experience. So yeah, but there are risks by using it too much or by using it in a inappropriate manner. If you use it too much and too frequently, um, it can cause some distabilities. Yeah, and yeah, it can cause you to be unhealthy, to behave in an unhealthy way. Um, yeah, but that would be the case if you use it like daily, in the low to high dose. Um, at maximum you are recommended to use it. It's 2 week, so bi-weekly, or you can also microdose. But when you are not working, when you can rest fully without being disrupted. Um, yeah, if you use it monthly, I think that's quite okay. Yeah. So yeah, my personal experience on 5-MeO Mart. So this feels like being a feminine divine mother that is giving a birth to a child. And what is the child? It's the world. It's the world you get to create with your mind. So within the state of consciousness, I get to experience and embody the profound, um, infinite self love. I am missing that experience now. The experience involves very deep sense of self love that is arguably actually quite different than 5-MeO DMT actually, and lots of healing. And it's like you are like a divine feminine mother, Gaia, that is going through death and rebirth and so much in nurturing, yeah, and offering myself genuine self-love, hugging myself. Yeah. So like 5-MeO DMT as well, it is very relaxing. It relaxes me so much that it is it is like a death experience of death. And what is death? Death is love. It like through death, when you give a birth to a child, it is lots of pain, but lots of pleasure and blissfulness. It is by giving a child, you get to create the meaning. You get to expand your mind, your sense of yourself to the child. You you no longer have the past self. I mean, I haven't given a birth to a child. But I'm a I'm a guy. I don't have um, that feminine, female vagina, these organs to give a birth. But yes, that is how it feels like. Anyway, but this can make you very passive and inactive because it is dissolving the ego. And when the ego gets dissolved, ego is like an agent. It's like a character that is serving the universe. So when ego gets dissolved, it rather makes you not so active. So that's why it is recommended to use at maximum bi-weekly or monthly. Yeah, and yeah, make sure that you are integrating and rebuilding the ego completely. Like give yourself like 2 days, like 36 hours. Yeah. Or you can consider using another psychedelics. LSD can help rebuilding the ego, but I do not like the LSD as I mentioned this loopy cognitive distortive element of it. So I used another psychedelic called 5-MeO MIPT. Anything that is has a stimulating effect and ego inflation that would work. I, yeah, some people use nicotine um, as a coping mechanism, like this ayahuasca. Um, People who do ayahuasca and then they strategically use nicotine as a coping mechanism. So that kind of makes sense. But also, you can use 5-MeO MIPT, microdosing it because it makes you quite masculine and also increases some libido, so kind of sexually very active. That's a good counter action. But also you can exercise. You can push yourself to be more active. That also works. 5-MeO MALT, non-duality embodiment. Yes. So, how would be useful? Like, in what cases would be very good? Treatment resistant PTSD. For individuals with a strong masculine energy or those who struggle to feel anything on 5-MeO DMT until they reach extreme doses, 5-MeO MALT can be a more approachable tool for ego dissolution. So, as I mentioned, that those who are with strong masculine mind, who are experiencing, who have and carry strong PTSD, they can get more help from 5-MeO MART than 5-MeO DMT. Yes. Relational practice like Tantra or connecting with other people. So the experience on 5-MeO MART is that you actually feel and perceive yourself more feminine, very feminine. Me as a guy, it feels like my genital is very became very so small, which would make some people feel bad as a guy, but it helps you to understand how it feels to be sensual, to be vulnerable, to be feminine, which allows to connect with other feminine people, or not only feminine people, it allows you to connect with other people in a more um, holistic way. Because masculinity is like it helps you to see the world as an object, but femininity values more on the emotion over the logic. It helps you to connect and relate the emotions and other human beings. It also gives you more desire to touch, to connect with other human beings. Yeah. Also, while 5-MeO DMT, it is particularly good for the breakthrough dose because 5-MeO DMT can force your ego to get ripped off and go through the death. That's what 5-MeO DMT is better for. But 5-MeO MART, it is very stable. It helps you actually integrate better as it's longer. So on the lower dose, it's better than 5-MeO DMT. So I'd say if I want to go on a breakthrough dose, then I would choose to use 5-MeO DMT or mix with the 5-MeO MART a little bit, like 75% 5-MeO DMT and 25% 5-MeO MART. That's some some recipe invented by the some psychedelic community. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's how I do. Um, but yeah, if you are just intending to embody and integrate the experience, the lower doses of 5-MeO MART works just much better. The power of 5-MeO MART. Yes. So yeah, it it brings immense psychological spiritual healing. 5-MeO MART has enormous potential for your psychological and spiritual healing. Really, really. It helped me to be at least self-aware that my own depression or my mental health condition is my own responsibility. Like, like I sometimes get depressed, but I know that I can always meditate. I can always do something about it. And yeah, although this 5-MeO MALT is, while it's a magic pill, yes, but it does not fix everything. Um, so that's a thing. And enlightenment work, realizing who you are, God realization, and Buddhistic realization. So as it is more stable and longer, it is best psychedelic than any other psychedelics. Yeah. Right. Important considerations and risks. So 5-MeO might, this is not at all recreational compound. It should be used with some serious spiritual intent or mindfulness in a controlled, quiet environment. Your bedroom is usually okay. If you misuse 5-MeO might, it can cause some psychological and physical harm, right? If you just overdose it, if you do not measure things correctly, it can, yeah, it can do more harm than good. So yeah, start always low and gradually increase. Yeah, start with always with a low dose, low as microdose. You can check in my another video how to prepare these gut molecules. And yes, check the safety protocols. Keep it. If you need trip sitters, then look for one. Keeping all these principles and protocols will make you much safer. So yeah, as every psychedelics requires proper preparation and integration practices, um, yeah, uh, I think it's my limitation. I cannot speak more. But yeah, ensure to check all these protocols and safety harm reductions. Yes, in advance. So summaries. It's pretty. So yes, 5-MeO MART is pretty similar to 5-MeO DMT. It's just like one molecular differences. 5-MeO MART is more emphasized, more focusing on the love realization, deep self-love, while 5-MeO DMT might be, it is showing you truth. Doing 5-MeO MART or 5-MeO DMT, it can having breakthroughs like some kind of awakening or enlightenment experience. It can change how you, it will actually change how you experience on other psychedelics. Like I hear some people who has done 5-MeO DMT a lot, and they get to experience DMT. They do not experience the any visual experience on DMT, not anymore. Also, when some people have experienced real breakthrough, they stop experiencing visuals anyway. So that's something. Personal experience on this is that magic mushrooms or LSD, they feel more like 5-MeO DMT, but it's like my ego is not yet deserved. But I know that there's my ego playing and deceive in that domain. Gentler than 5-MeO DMT, yes, it's more gentler, smoother, feminine, loving. Um, it's more holistic and stable. And yes, there are a bunch of other 5-MeO tryptamines psychedelics. And as I know, only three or four of them are valuable. For example, 5-MeO DMT and 5-MeO MALT and 5-MeO MIPT. I will explain all about 5-MeO MIPT as well. Five there are, but yeah, most of the 5-MeO compounds and most of the psychedelics, there are like 200 or 300 of them. Most of them are not so useful. They do not do much. Some of them are, it can feel really dangerous. For example, 5-MeO DPT, it can make you feel like you're like a robot. Cranky, body feels like so cranky, it's breaking down, and they can feel really uncomfortable. But some psychedelics, they are actually very useful. For example, 5-MeO MART. Some psychedelics are like a diamond. So yes, conclusion. 5-MeO MART is an exceptional psychedelic. It offers you a very gentle, stable, and loving experience than any other psychedelics. So it's actually the best psychedelic, I'd say. It helps you to contemplate deep spiritual growth and ego dissolution. It has ability to heal and help individuals through spiritual awakening. Yeah, yes, good. Thank you for listening and watching.